Welcome everyone to the Board of Health meeting. It's Thursday, May 15, 2025 at 6 p.m. Relative to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20F, and for the benefit of the public, this meeting is being recorded both by video and audio methods. Roll call, please.
Roland Larishow.
Here.
Gil Provost.
Present.
Jasmine Canones. Gus Steves. Kevin Spillane.
Present.
Okay. Item number 3, consider and accept minutes as written from the April 10, 2025.
So moved.
Do I have a second? No second? I guess we move over that one. Okay. Number 4, citizens forum. Anybody in the audience that wishes to bring up anything to the board that's not in the agenda? Seeing none, we'll go to number 5, Director of Health, Wozniak's report. A is update on COVID and other diseases.
I'll start there. Thank you, Chair. In regards to infectious diseases, we have seen a decrease in the numbers last month versus March. Primarily, the decrease in influenza, and in March they were 43, and the number of cases that was reported by a public health nurse from 4/1/25 to 4/30/25 was just 1. Okay, that was suspect, and 15 were confirmed, so it's a decrease. In addition,
Yeah, you should have it.
coronavirus, we've seen a decrease as well from 11 to 7. Unfortunately, most notably with new incidents of infectious diseases, we have seen 2 pathogens come out, Campylobacter, which is an enteric bacteria, and more concerning is also the incidence of Lyme disease at this point. We have had 3 probables. There is an increase in the disease incidence, and it coincides with the activity levels of ticks. Prevalence of the disease is based on vector transmission rates, which are the tick bites. I'll conclude with that. Moving on to blight update. I have included a list of blighted properties that was amended on May 2025. On this list, 2 locations that I would like to make note of: 16 Clark Street, and 17 Jerome Street. Clark Street, exterior conditions, rubbish and refuse, and more importantly, there is a structurally compromised garage. At this point, the property is not vacant, but we presume it will. As for 17 Jerome Street, it is completely vacant. It's been that way for a while, we believe. But similar to Clark Street, we have a damaged roof and siding, and there is a garage on the property which also has a roof that is structurally unsound. I have discussed this with the building department, the commissioner, and the inspector, and they have both made a visit to the locations, have reviewed them, and will be forwarding a report to the health department.
304 Pleasant, that seems to be new. I don't know if
Yes,
yours
that's,
or the
and I've
building.
identified the building department. On this
Okay.
list, ones that are being handled directly by the building department, in which they are taking the lead, have been identified here
Okay.
as such. Again, I'll just add the Clark Street and Jerome Street is a concerted effort on with both departments to address the situations. As we know, the Jerome Street is at this point involved with the USDA, and that can be added to the list of properties that is going to, that has been forwarded to the Assistant Attorney General's office for progress, in which, again, we may elect to go with receivership or other methods. Okay?
How effective has receivership been so far in general?
Well, in my tenure here, I've not been involved in a receivership here, but I've other communities that I've worked in. We have done a lot, and they proved to be successful. The obstacles now is the court proceedings and all the legal challenges that may be faced. So with
A
that,
couple of properties that were in receivership.
they were.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were they-
But it can be a long duration.
Yeah,
It moves like a snail at times,
everything was
particularly now. So, again, I've been in contact with the Assistant Attorney General, the Neighborhood Renewal Division, and I consistently do. So I'd like to just share something, an update with these USDA properties. In my opinion, when this was forwarded, these particular dwellings were forwarded in the residence of Dennison Crossroad and Crestwood Drive. It also did not progress as quickly as I assumed. So with that said, the Assistant Attorney General just sent me some information pertaining to this and identified that the Neighborhood Renewal Division has reached out directly to the USDA, and there is a regional push to focus on properties throughout Massachusetts. Unfortunately, with the upheaval in the federal government that was quickly shut down, they made another attempt, and there's a newly appointed National Director and Deputy Director of the Default Division and Servicing Office for USDA Rural Development. They said that the lack of attention by rural development to the USDA properties in Massachusetts has recently come to their attention, and they expressed a commitment to quickly change that. That's a positive. So there was an opportunity to improve, and many properties were neglected, two of which we've been involved in almost a year. So we're optimistic that in light of these changes and improvements, we'll see something enacted here in town with those properties. But certainly 17 Jerome Street will be added to that list. Okay? Thank you.
Update on what's going on 270 South Street.
Speak up.
Is there any update on 270 South
Yes,
Street?
we made a visit, a building department in tandem with the health department. Talked to the owners again. This was just last week. They were on site. They have been responsive to the fact that they're allowing us on site to go through the items, the rubbish, okay, with their permission. They, again, small movement of compliance, a few items, but nothing to warrant compliance. So weekly, there has been an order issued coupled with the 21D tickets. That will go on for another week, and then if we do not see a full stride for compliance, it will be forwarded to housing court. We will petition the court to seek compliance of the state sanitary code.
Did you have a chance to check out the drums or?
Yes, we did. There was nothing in it,
Nothing.
which was good. And again, the owners did allow us to inspect it. And they said they would continue. That's where we are.
Also, I was regarding 12 lighting lights, I was looking for somebody who's one of the neighbors who's
Speak up, Gus. We can't even hear you.
Regarding 12 Lang Lights, I was talking to one of the neighbors, and they're definitely concerned about trying to finish that project.
Yes, yes. Well, last week, we also made a visit there and talked to not the owners, but the occupants,
Right.
in which we saw some progress still and some movement, but not enough to justify, again, anywhere near compliance. And as I've shared with the board, this is in probate court. Attorney Rob Caprera has identified that, and it's idle at this point. Right. But again, the occupants have at least covered some of the items using tarps, removed a lot of extraneous items, but vehicles still remain, car parts, grills, and other assorted amounts of rubbish.
One question on 270 South, with regard to what the building commissioner stated last meeting about first, second,
Yes.
last notice, and then he mentioned something about, what was the agency to go in and he can order a cleanup at their cost.
Yes.
Has that been looked at versus, or is that part of the housing court?
That's gonna be part of the housing court for the clean and lean, okay?
Correct, okay.
But
That's what he was-
those first, second, and last notices have been done. And clearly on our last correction order, it was identified, exactly what the town, through the Board of Health, can do. We also, on multiple reports, asked for their presence here at the meeting. And we do not have that.
Yeah.
We did talk about it on site, and it was a back and forth, and we never really got a clear answer as to whether they would appear.
That seems to.
Okay? There are some health conditions that prohibit that, certainly on the owners, the legal owners. But again, that was requested on the orders. They have been contacted, right, and served legally, and they do understand the repercussions of the non-compliance and non-movement. They do. We've shared that and clarified it and stressed it, that there will be another order. Again, the fines have amounted to over 1,500 now, 17, almost close to 2,000. And then it's going to be in the hands of the housing court. So, no point. Okay. Moving forward on a positive, I'd like to commend Patty and our new inspector Chris on their hard work associated with an anti-choking class that was held upstairs in the counselor chambers. In attendance of 63. Yeah, very good turnout, very good. Also, they did set up a booth for the health department at the Health and Wellness Fair at the community center today, which was very, very productive, right? Yeah. Patty, would you like to add something, Chris?
Go ahead.
He was making comments.
Oh.
I just wanted to make you aware.
Thank you for your hard work. Appreciate it. Okay, and I'll conclude with that. Thank you.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, just a couple updates, I guess, if you'd like, from the town side. The town today took action on 203 Derby Street, which is a town-owned property, which we evicted the persons of the bank, that health department, the inspections department, the cooperation with the Southbridge Police and the Sheriff's Department in getting that occupant out. We had to go through housing court on that. That residence, so just if you take note that on 203 Derby Street, that's on the 5th hole of Cohasset. If you go up Derby Street, The house is boarded up, effective today, and locked. Six, you would know, right? You had to call me on me. I always thought it was the fifth hole, but it's a beautiful hole. But in any event, that house was boarded up today, so if you see that as a boarded structure, it is not blighted, it is owned by the town of Southbridge. The next step will be to go, again, that action was taken through the housing court, and that person is in the process of being moved out today. And that will then move to auction on behalf of the town. Okay, so we'll see where that goes. I'm sure it's gonna be a nice piece of property that will go. Also, I know, member Steve's had asked me today about the Mill Street property that we own. Just so you know, we're in the process of doing an environmental phase 2 assessment of that property. We, as the town, I guess, became the proud owners officially of that approximately a month ago. So now we have access to the property to be able to do the testing. We're looking to get a structural engineer. The town council has voted to sell that piece of property as we own it, and it's a tax title, so we have the opportunity to sell that. So we'll be placing that up for sale relatively soon. So if you have any questions on that, we are pursuing that. As soon as we get the environmental assessment, then we'll move to the next steps of any cleanup that we have to do. We have been in touch with our partners with Mass Development about the possibilities of applying for some grants to assist and technical assistance to clean that up or do further evaluations of that building, just so you know. So if you have any questions on that, that's where we're at on that building.
When you say the Mill Street property, that's not only the part that was demolished,
It's the whole structure.
it's the whole structure all the way down to
Three
what would
meters.
have been the old Ames entrance.
Correct.
I date myself.
Yeah, so, so we are actively,
Okay.
secure insurance on that, and as well as, it's secured with fencing right now, but, we're taking pretty quick action to move it along, to make the next steps.
How about the wings in the back? Because there's still some businesses in
Yeah.
those wings in the back that
Correct, so
project
that's-
out towards
yeah,
the river.
right. Yeah, so, they're not technically, they're not attached to that building, but there is some possibility of, so that's why.
But are those town-owned?
No.
Okay, just
Those are all separate, it's just that building.
just that Mill Street
Yeah.
sleeve.
18th, I think it's called 18th to 30, you know.
Okay.
So,
Jack, when you say phase 2, I thought like last week or 2 weeks ago I saw, has the town had anybody go down there and do drilling as far as core samples to do
They
a
did.
20, is that like a town thing or
that was a town thing that was
that
going
was
on.
phase 1, phase 2?
That's
or-
phase 2.
Okay,
So the phase 1 was just to strictly review documents and any paperwork that they had. And we had a grant several years ago to do the phase 2 assessment testing. But because we didn't own it, the owner would not allow us into to be able to do that. So Peg was able to get another grant, so we're able to get the grant. And once we became owner, we were able to expedite the phase 2 study, so.
so that drilling was part of town?
That's part of our town,
okay.
yeah. Okay. But if you have any further questions,
That's-
okay?
I have another question. So how does this, I assume that means we also own the others for demolished, right?
So what?
We
Yeah.
also, okay, so what's gonna happen with that? Because that pile of stuff is just sitting.
As soon as we get the assessment, that will determine what our next steps will be. Part of the assessment.
Any time frame for that?
We just became owners about a month ago,
Yeah.
and we did the assessment last week. So as soon as we get the assessment in, they're rapid, they're going pretty quick, so. We hope to put it on the market quickly. We do have some individuals that have expressed interest in retaining the building and trying to restore it, at least the section that hasn't come down. We'd like to hope to see that, because it's an old structure and something that's a history, so I'll keep you informed as to how that proceeds. So,
Okay, that's it?
yeah, that's all.
Okay,
Unless you have
All right.
anything else you want to add.
nobody
I'm
else?
good, I'm good.
Number 6, the town agent for solid waste and recyclable materials, Maritza's report.
Good evening. Couple of things, May 3rd, we had our second household hazardous waste day over at the DPW. That went very well. We had in attendance approximately 224 vehicles, 19 mattresses were collected over, this is a guesstimate, over 150 tires. That's my best guess. Electronics were also collected. I don't have the final reports because it's too soon. I should have that hopefully for the next upcoming meeting. Hopefully we'll have a second semi-household hazardous waste day scheduled for October 2025, so stay tuned for that. Earth Day in 2 days, Beautify Southbridge. We're gonna be meeting here in front of the town hall. If anyone is interested in volunteering, we'll be here for registration at 7:45 till noon. Hopefully the rain will, we'll wait until we're all cleaned up here.
Yeah, the weather is not looking good.
I know, I just checked it a few minutes ago. We have a couple of commitments tonight. If you can pass that to the chair, that would be great. I've been attending a couple of webinars for the RDP grant, and that should be coming up soon. Anna Smith still continues to be our contractor. She is reviewing the quarterly well reports and the gas report, with no comments on the current quarterly well report. The opt-out feature is currently available for the next municipal curbside billing, so that could be, anyone can register through OpenGov.
All right, come up here.
And
Decipher
final,
Michelle's
I would like to
codes.
thank all the volunteers that showed up. No, not yet. I thought we were gonna order it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Bring it here.
snacks. And the granola bars, 2 pieces of water,
Okay.
bananas.
Well, wait.
Hey.
We went from water to granola bars to
Yeah,
bananas.
this one's missing.
I know.
Hey.
So we're talking this number?
She liked that Instacart.
Yes,
I said,
because these
yeah.
are that's going to be the town deemed it a one-family unit, they got deferred to,
Go get
and
'em,
this one
Marissa.
was an overbill as well.
So what's the total on this one here?
That one is
Because
240.
this
one is
last
240.
column was missing.
This one is 240, so
Okay.
it's 230 and the 10, and then that one's 575.
So this one's a bill and this one's a rebate.
Nope, that one's an overbill. Linda, that one's gonna be a credit
This is
and a
why her
credit.
code. This is a credit.
Yep,
So should this not say negative?
this says negative right here.
That's why it's missing.
I know,
So
I
we're
can get a
going,
better one
we're going
for
with,
you.
we're going with this one here.
correct.
Okay, that works. All right, thank you for deciphering her code. Must be Marine thing. Yeah, it is.
There are too many codes when it comes to.
Yeah, she can just give a number.
That would be nice.
Okay, is that it for your solid waste?
Yes, again, thank you for all the volunteers that showed up.
Okay, so in that case, we're gonna move to number 7, which is the commitments that we just deciphered. So the first commitment, you wanna take these two separately or all together?
Separate.
Okay, first one is a negative $240. That was due to overbilling in other accounts, led in other account, overbilled in other accounts.
Okay.
So that led to a negative 240.
So,
Second.
Any questions, comments, concerns? All in favor? No opposed, that's unanimous. I have the second one. Why did I get you on this one? This one is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the $600,000 one.
That is correct, that is the fourth quarter
That's the
commitment.
total commitment.
okay.
So that commitment is for $624,680.
So move.
Second.
Questions, comments, concerns?
What quarter?
Other than the fact that it's $600,000.
Excuse me?
I said, other than the fact that it's $600,000.
Yeah.
What quarter was it for?
Quarter number 4,
Four.
FY '25, quarter 4. Okay? All those in favor, if there's no questions? Opposed? Unanimous. Okay. Thank you. So now we have Chair and Members Forum. I'll start with the quick one.
I'd like to thank everybody in Southbridge that showed up for the hazardous waste day. It was very, very nice to see that all that stuff's going to get disposed properly instead of in someone's backyard or our rivers. And all the volunteers that showed up. Thank you.
That's it.
That's it.
Right.
I'll be brief. I have one item that I just wanted to announce that there is going to be the town council forum on Thursday, the 22nd at 6. It's going to be mostly council. There's also going to be a brief period for the school committee candidates. And that's going to be upstairs. It's going to be on cable. It's going to be on YouTube.
When's that? What was the date again?
Thursday, the 22nd at 6.
You gonna come and see me?
Talk to me.
That's
I
just
see you every
town
time you
council.
walk
That's
in
just
the
town council.
It's mostly going to be town
Sometimes
council.
it's scary.
It's 10 or 15 minutes just for me at the end. Because there's no races for them.
Okay.
Oh, and also I want to comment that I also went down to the wellness fair today, and well, I like to see the tables of people that were down there, and there was a lot of information available. I had somebody comment on that we could do a better job of doing promotion for it, but nobody had ever reached out to me on the newspaper side to let me know that it was coming. So I would have been happy to do that.
That's it? Madam Jasmine? You're good? Okay. Mr. Vice Chair?
As far as hazardous waste day went, Maritza, thank you for the time you put into it. I know it's a big thing, a lot to do, a lot of planning, a lot of vendors to deal with, so I want to thank you. I also want to thank Gil, Gus for showing up, all our other volunteers we had. It was a really good turnout. 224 cars, people, whatever you want to call it, showed up. The tires were unbelievable. I mean, our commissioner and our building inspector got covered in crap doing it. It was a fun day. So thank you for that. I enjoyed doing it. The other thing I like to say is to Gil, Gus, and Jasmine, I've been serving with you guys for 2 years now. Roland, I've been serving you for almost a year now. I'd like to thank all of you for my time serving with you. We've got a lot accomplished. It wasn't the way the Board of Health is going right now is not the way I like. My term is done on the 30th of this month. I've received a letter to
This month or next month?
the 30th of this month. I've received a letter that if I intended to stay on, I had to send in a letter to do it, and I'm gonna decline that letter because I do not like the way this board has been told how we should proceed, and it's not what I signed up to do. So thank you for the last 2 years, thank you for the last year, and tonight will be my last meeting, and thank you for the last 2 years.
I have something to say. I'm sorry, I got lost and they lost track of time. So just like Kevin, I've been on the board for 3 years, and I also was given the letter to make a choice whether I was signing up to come back, and with a heavy heart, I will not be coming back to the Board of Health. Unfortunately, I came on this board for a lot of different reasons. A lot of those reasons are not what I signed up for, and it pains me terribly. I thank everybody for giving me an opportunity. A girl that didn't know anything about trash or recycling, and I've learned so much. But it just pains me that this is how it has to be. There's way too many things going on that have nothing to do with me, that have nothing to do with any of the causes that I stand for, and I will no longer jeopardize my integrity or who I am as a person to continue serving on the board.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Okay, I guess that leaves it to me. So I'll say my brief spiel. A lot of things have transpired in the last year. It's been over a year, by the way, Mr. Vice Chair. It's been just a little over a year, I know, time flies. There's been challenges, both as a volunteer in this board and in my private life. And my responsibilities, my primary responsibilities lie with my family and everything else. And all I'm going to say is that I'm making it known right now that this is my last meeting. So, there's nothing else. I'm going to delay the discussion of the next meeting date to whoever takes over.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Okay, we're adjourned.